Hello, this is Simeon Campbell, and this is Minority Minors in the Police Department, educating the department. Now, what I would like to do is to sit down with the police department and go over some steps that they can take with their officers to better prepare themselves for dealing with minority minors out in the field. Now, if the police officers can take in some accounts of how the emotions run with the minority minors and the fear behind minority minors when it comes to police, they can better assess situations when they go out into the field. Okay, now we're going to go into first having you understand how minors think. Okay, before you know that, you have to figure out what periods of development these minors are in. They can be from middle childhood, which tells us there are from ages 6 to 11. And during this time, they're learning about social relationships and they start to compare each other, which may turn into some jealousy and envy. Now we have adolescence, which is from ages 12 to 18. And this is when puberty starts, so their emotions are all over the place. They have the ability to now consider concepts of love, fear, and freedom. And they have to establish their own identity at this point. And they also learn new roles and responsibilities. Now, when an officer is out in the field and they encounter someone in this age range, they should know, okay, this kid is 9 years old. We need to make sure that we take into account some emotions at that age range. Okay. Now, we are going to go into physical and emotional trauma with stress. Now, according to GOTEP, police conduct sometimes results in trauma and the feelings of alienation and powerless, all of which have the potential to negatively impact mental health. Now, last year, a child who was 9 years old got pepper sprayed and handcuffed by Rochester police. So I want to ask you a question. Why did this happen when this child is 9 years old? Okay, we need to think about the emotional trauma that this child may be suffering from. So instead of cuffing, there's things you can do to lower their emotions if they're scared or frightened or angry. Okay, now this is a perfect chart to look at when you're trying to know basic emotions with this age range. Now, Harley 2018 states that the most sensible thing that people can do is encourage a critical perspective in children that can balance the risks and benefits. But when you're out in the field, police officers, you need to make sure that you know positive emotions and negative emotions. Some positives are faith, joy, happiness, and empathy. And some negative ones are fear, regret, guilt, shame, and sadness. Once you can balance all these emotions when you're out in the field, you can take into account what a child is going through. Okay, now it's very important that we also look at social media and how social media affects these minors, especially African American minors, because what they see on TV or on social media puts their trust against the police department. Now, you have to combat things that you can also do. You can have social events with minority youth. You can have raffles. You can show up to the community and help these minority youth. Okay, now my references are GOTEP and Harley, but I'm going to show you a video how you can control your emotions when you are out in the field.
scientist Robert Plutchik classified emotions into 8 core areas: joy, acceptance, fear, surprise, sadness, disgust, anger, and anticipation. Be mindful of your emotions and recognise an emotion as soon as it materialises rather than repressing it. When an emotion takes hold, remember what you were thinking or doing. Recognise if you are blaming the reason for your emotions on other people. Always take full responsibility for your emotional reactions. Take a step back and think about the different ways you could view the situation. Explore different interpretations before responding. There will always be more than one way you could respond to a situation. Make sure your chosen course of action is a conscious decision. Inhale slowly to relax and clear your mind. Envisage negative thoughts and emotions leaving your body as you breathe out.
Okay, now those are some steps that you can take in order to prepare yourself when you're out in the field and you do feel emotions, to not act on those emotions on a person that you are maybe interrogating or talking to. And you have to control your emotions because these children are in a vulnerable state. Their emotions when they see a police officer is fear. So to combat that, you need to control your emotions, know how to approach a situation with an African American or a minority minor, because they may have some preconceptions about law enforcement. Thank you very much. My name is Simeon Campbell, and this is Educating the Police Department on Minority Minors. Thank you very much.